Hi there. So you probably can't see it, but if you look through the bushes behind me, you'll see the Olympic Peninsula, which is in Washington State, which is in the United States of America. Now, I spent a big chunk of my adult life on Vancouver Island, where I am now, and I lived in a border town called Sydney, British Columbia. We even had a U.S. immigration post there during the summer, twice daily ferry to Anacortes in Washington State. You switch on any AM radio here, you get U.S. radio stations. We have the same weather. We even share the same smoke. I don't mean cigarette smoke. I mean wildfire smoke. Whether it's in British Columbia, it often goes into Washington State and vice versa. In fact, sometimes we get smoke from as far as Oregon and even Northern California. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is the ties are many. Before COVID, Canada pretty much made policy in lockstep with the United States, especially when it came to matters of trade, border crossings, environment, that sort of thing. It was really during COVID where our ties started to sever. I mean, I remember being in Sydney during those tough times, and it was so odd to not see any Americans in town, not to have that ferry going. We seemed very isolated. But in a way, we got used to being more on our own. So that's where we are right now after President Trump's trade blitz. We can honestly say we've been the biggest, the most loyal, the friendliest neighbor the United States could ever have. And in the span of a few weeks or months, Mr. Trump, who has some bee in his bonnet about not only the former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, but about Canada, is intent on severing that relationship. He has not stepped away from his dream of taking over Canada, saying we're going to be a lot better off, we're going to pay less taxes, we won't have to pay billions for defense, but no one here, at least no one I've talked to, including myself, wants to be part of the United States. So you go around here and the patriotism is like nothing I've seen before. You go into a store right next to me called Thrifty's, lots and lots of Canadian Maple Leafs on products saying this is Canadian. And even in the liquor stores, the provincial governments, as they have across Canada, have just tossed U.S. wine and spirits and beer off the shelves. So Canadians are feeling a Trump bump in terms of patriotism. And of course, it did help Mark Carney, the former central bank governor, to propel himself to the position of prime minister. He was 20 or some points behind opposition leader Pierre Poilievre a few weeks ago. And because a lot of Canadians thought Carney is better suited to be the pit bull against Trump, that got him in. Let's see what his cabinet is like as well. That's going to be very interesting. But the other quick thing before I end this segment is a lot of Canadians are spending a lot of money to cancel trips to the United States. They've bought packages, they've bought flights. A lot have canceled, and they're saying, no way, we're not going. Number one, because we don't want to give the Americans money. And number two, because they don't want to face the possible humiliation at the border crossings. Lots and lots of stories of incoming tourists, not only from here but elsewhere, being harassed at the border. Customs or immigration officers looking through people's phones, in some cases turning them back. And now, not far from me, there's the Peace Arch crossing on the Canadian mainland, and there are reports now of 2 to 3 hour waits because inbound to Canada, because U.S. Customs are stopping cars and checking them randomly. That's aside from having to go through the possible tough secondary examination when you're entering the United States. We never thought we'd be at this point ever, but I also say that, if you're Ukraine or Denmark or other Mexico, other states that are trying to make some kind of deal with the Trump circle, well, good luck with that, because we learned our lesson and we're not going to stand for it. And the other thing that's going to happen is, even if Trump is out in 3 or 4 years, the trade ties that we have with the United States will be realigned to go east-west, not north and south. So that's going to be a big change for the Americans too. Anyway, hope this helps you understand what has been a very long, sometimes complex relationship. And that's the way it is, almost middle of May in 2025.